back. It is your content or DIScontent or my content. It's Scotty, help me out. It's content.
No, DIScontent is our content.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hot topic,
Oh,
Scotty.
yeah.
2025 started with a bang.
Yeah. Well, first, we do want to, wish everyone a happy new year and prosperous 2025. But yeah, how do you feel waking up 2025 January 1st? And
Can I interrupt? You do not have to hold the mic. Just so you know.
Oh, I don't.
No. Episode 4. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right,
thanks.
I can just speak into it. I don't need to touch.
You
the
actually
mic.
don't have to speak that way either. You can just.
Oh, I don't have to go like this?
No.
Oh, see, we're learning here.
Yeah.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, right? So, all right, I can just look like this. Perfect. All right. So, yeah, very tragic situation unfolded early hours of January 1st, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, a terrorist attack, as they're calling it, right? Gentleman drove his truck through a crowd of people. I think the death toll now is up to 14, and multiple folks still injured in the hospital. An awful way to start off the new year.
And this was in New Orleans.
Correct.
It was a driver of a truck. He rented a truck and drove down Bourbon Street and just tried to take out as many people as he could. He also had some explosives that went undetonated, thankfully, and he had some weapons as well. He was eventually taken out by some police. And then what happened a little while later?
Well, then a Tesla truck imploded with explosives in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas right around the same time. I think I was actually watching the reports of the terror act when they then went to a report that a Tesla Cybertruck exploded in front of Trump Towers. No connection, supposedly, but things that make you go, in my opinion.
That's right. So we're looking at right now photos of the two suspects. We're just going to throw the photo up there. We don't have to really discuss these guys that much. I don't think the story right now, as far as we're concerned, is these guys, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, right now there's just a lot of speculation. They're still combing through, I'm sure, mounds of evidence. They're still at the homes. They're still talking to people, friends, family. There's probably going through social media. So it's going to take a while. This isn't like unfortunately, it's not like a CSI episode where things are resolved in 45 minutes. I think that's what we've been accustomed to, watching television. We think these things are going to happen. And I'm guilty as charged, too. You want things, you want answers, and we can't understand why it doesn't happen as quick as we'd like it to happen, the answers. But I do know that it does take time, and we'll hopefully get the answers. The Senator Kennedy out of Louisiana says he is going to make sure we are all abreast of what happened, especially in New Orleans. So, but more importantly, what I've taken away from this, outside of folks, obviously losing their lives and just, again, an absolute disgusting tragedy that unfolded that morning. Ann Kirkpatrick, superintendent of the police for New Orleans. She's an interesting character. Don't know if many people know, but, she's been a career police. Yep, there she is. I think you're showing her up there. Looks like Mama Cloppet from Beverly Hillbillies, but I digress.
Clamp it.
That's it.
Clamp it.
I think that's what people are saying. So,
people are saying she looks like Mama Clompet?
Yes. Yeah, in the circles that I run in, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That explains it.
Yeah, that explains a lot. So, I did not much digging. I tapped my sources, and it's a little interesting what I found out about Miss Kirkpatrick. So she, she's a superintendent of the New Orleans Police Department these days. She's getting a lot of FaceTime on the news. She's out there in front of everything, but I don't know if she's really making a positive impact. Looks like there's a lot of excuses, a lot of like, well, I think the terrorists outsmarted us. She had these, there are reports, again, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but those cement dividers, they weren't put up. There was little to no protection or any sort of something to divert somebody from trying to drive a car. There you go. There's another picture right there. So she's got a lot of excuses, in my opinion. I don't know where she came from or what qualified her to be the police superintendent of New Orleans. But most recently, though, she was in Oakland, California, where she was terminated back in 2017 unanimously by the commission in Oakland. And then she sued for unlawful termination. She got $1.5 million. And then she ended up in New Orleans, where, I don't know, New Orleans has always been a hotbed of, unfortunately, a fish tank. I saw someone said a fish tank of bad behavior. And it's just unfortunate. I think they needed someone that really knew what they were doing. And then, she also in 2020, in August, most recently of 2024, she hit two pedestrians with her vehicle. I just find that quite ironic. And again, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, folks. She wasn't found charged with anything. She breathalyzed, wasn't drinking. Apparently, she was visiting an officer who had been injured in the hospital. So she said her mind wasn't there. She was worried about her fellow officer. She didn't see the people. When she took a left, they were crossing. She hit them. I mean, they ended up being okay. But again, you can't script this stuff. You got a police chief who just had a horrific, tragic terrorist attack, and then with a vehicle, and then come to find out not less than 6 months ago, she hit two people with her car. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, well, she's not on trial.
No. But no. I will say, though, she should be resigned. She failed. I don't give what excuse she gives. She's got the unicorns and rainbows, like everything's great. Oh, let's just open up New Orleans again. Everything's great. And, the fact she didn't know she had these barriers, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy for her as far as her actions. She should just resign, give her resignation. I mean, she failed, and that's that.
Right. Well, I mean, I think they'll investigate. They'll find out, but I think the larger issue here is we just went through 2024. We've had all these issues. We've had repeated shootings, tragedies. 2025 literally is 3 hours old, and boom, here we go again.
Yep, agreed.
I'm calling it America on repeat. It's just more of the same. When does it end? What's going on, Scotty? Give me the lowdown. Tell me what's going on. What's causing all this?
Social media.
Okay.
I think social media has a lot to do with this. How am I gonna?
I mean, look at these two guys, right? They're not.
No,
they're not right-minded, right? That's the issue. It's people are losing it, right?
Yeah, and these people didn't come. I mean, obviously where I stand on where I stand in the political landscape, but they didn't come over the border, right? This was not a border issue. This was not a migrant issue. This was not anything more than two individuals who obviously have some mental deficiencies or some mental behavior that's off, that got radicalized by Islam or ISIS or whatever, and decided that it was better to go out and do what they did versus try to deal with their own mental health issues, because there's obviously clearly mental health issues here. And,
right.
And to your point, big guy, that is a bigger issue here. How many more of these folks are out there? I bet there's a lot more.
You have the New Orleans driver who was radicalized by ISIS through online.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say mental issues there.
Yep.
You have the Cybertruck suicide bombing.
Yep.
Who was recently divorced by his wife. I'm going to say mental issues break down there as well. So this is like a societal situation. This is what we deal with on a daily basis now in America, coming home to roost, right? This is not a political issue. This is society. This is people unable to deal with life in America right now.
And like, again, and to the point of social media and then the news, I'm not blaming them solely, but if I'm correct, so just, again, fact check me on this, but the suicide bomber was his manifesto. I haven't read it all, but I've seen excerpts of it. He was just saying how this country's failed us as Americans, and that there's all these things going on that we're not addressing that are just causing more harm to this country that he loved. I read some about using Chinese propulsion. I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to lie to you listeners out there. But there's just a lot of stuff going on that we're not aware of or they're hiding that he was privy to, being his background in the military. And he was more of this was kind of a wake-up call, like a notice, putting people on notice that, hey, this is what's going on.
I think what we learned mostly from his manifesto is that he had mental issues.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Like he touched on the drones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I wrote the Chinese propulsion. I saw that, and there's a bunch of others. Yeah.
So this is our first episode of 2025.
Yep.
This was our hot open, as we call it. This is how we start our episodes, and now we're in what we call the cool off. This is where we take a little breather after our hot open. So, Scotty, I see you're wearing a Trump 2024 hat. What is happening here? I guess you're
very excited.
Celebrating.
Oh, I'm celebrating.
Your big win.
Big win for Trump and the GOP. I big win. I think that, we've talked about this. The biggest thing for me is just the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the sheer volume of how he won. Just everything. Everything fell into place. I mean, the capacity, the size of the victory the margin he won,
which was shrinking by the day since he won.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a win, not really a landslide.
Well, I thought it was a landslide, but I could be wrong. I'm going to view it as a landslide. But yeah, so we're celebrating. We got my Trump hat on here that I actually purchased this hat when Trump came to Sarasota, Florida, a few years back. I went to the rally there, and I was able to pick up this 2024, a little foreshadowing, because it was only, it wasn't 2024 yet, obviously, and this was hoping that Trump was going to run again, which he did. So wearing my hat today because January 6th is right around the corner, and then January 20th, and...
I love January 6th is like a holiday. Is that why you're...
I'm very excited. I actually, yeah. Just hope things go a little smoother this time,
Okay. What else do you have?
Oh, I mean, this? Well, this little thing?
Whoa. Okay. What is this?
This little thing here?
Wait a second.
This little thing here?
Oh my. Okay, that looks like, for the listeners, that is a Punisher logo with the American flag and the Trump hairstyle on top of it.
You got it. That's it. I got this at the that little soiree called the rally in Sarasota. So I picked up some Trump gear, but I'm wearing it proudly.
Yeah, we have another word for that too. Also,
what is it?
Copyright infringement. No, it's just fun little word we have in America.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Disney loves copyright.
But yeah, so again, just very excited. The transition is here. I've been waiting for it for the last 4 years. So very excited. Not to say though, I mean, as much as excitement I am, there's a lot of work to be done, and I'll admit that. I mean, Trump had some lofty goals in his,
You
goal.
think?
Yeah,
You think he had
lofty goals. Lofty goals.
Like unreasonable, like
Maybe
impossible to accomplish.
Maybe.
Is that what you mean? When you say
We'll see. We'll see.
How's he going to deport 13 million people?
Carefully, one by one. Yeah, that's
One by one. That'll take 700 years.
Yeah. Well, but there's that is going to be quite the undertaking. But
Here, let me help you.
Yeah.
If Trump was here right now, what would he say?
He could take care of it. It's going to happen.
That was a cue, Scotty.
Yes. See, I'm a little. So,
Yeah.
Let's see what Trump
Hold it up. There we go. So this is
behind his bulletproof glass.
all right. Start from the beginning. What do you got here?
All right. So what I have is Donald Trump talking figure I got for the holidays for Christmas from my father-in-law, who is obviously he's a big Trumper, so likes to supply me with Trump things.
So your father-in-law is a Trumper,
Yep.
and he bought you a Trumper, a Donald Trump, a talking figurine.
Correct.
He's giving you a thumbs up.
Yep.
His hair looks kind of normal there.
Yeah, he's not too tan.
No.
He doesn't look orange.
Waist is a little pear-shaped, but not too bad.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You got to go with, you got to do real life. But yeah, he's a lot of, just a lot of great quotes from the president-elect here.
All right. So kick us off. Let's see what
He has to say. Let's see what he has to say.
All right.
Hey, good morning, Don. How are you? There we go, buddy. Let's see here. What do you got?
We are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
You're darn tootin' we are. That's right. He's going to drain the swamp. Let's see what else. Go ahead.
All right.
One more. Just
All right.
one more. Humor me. Here we go.
They say, is Donald Trump an intellectual? Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
All right. Let's. Oh my.
Yes, he is a smart person.
Oh my.
Oh, my.
Let's talk about that one a second. This is like for Trump fans, right? This talking doll.
Correct.
That's a quote they used for that.
They must have. I don't know where they got the quotes from. On the back, just so you know, there's a little cheat sheet
Hold it up for
with
the
all
camera.
his sayings on the back.
Oh, so you can know ahead of time what he's going to say.
Correct.
Oh, that takes the fun out of it.
Well,
doesn't
I'm not trying to look at it though.
it? Okay.
I
yeah,
might
you
even
don't
put
wanna-
tape. No, I like to be surprised.
And then
It's a shock
you were
value.
joking that you're keeping it in the plastic.
Oh, I'm not joking.
Oh,
This is protection. I mean, this just reminds me of, what transpired on July 13th. That he needs to stay behind the glass. You never know. I just feel more safe knowing he's there.
well, he is like a smart person. He's not a smart person. He's like a smart person.
Well, I think that's debatable. I mean, I think he's a pretty smart guy. I mean, look what he's done. Build. The amount of money he's amassed and just the things he's done. Trump Towers and all the buildings, and I think he's a smart man. He was the guy. He was one of the guys that offered Dana White an opportunity to, when Dana was starting off with the UFC, to run in Atlantic City at his casino for one of their shows. One of their first events, and look how that took off. Now UFC is probably, I can't even imagine the outreach of UFC fans out there. He took a chance on Dana White, and now they're great friends. And look at the UFC. So, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, we may not have the UFC.
I'm just trying to think of presidential history. That's definitely a first. Nixon, I don't think ever helped a fight promoter.
No.
Any other Trump paraphernalia? Since this is your big celebration day. Oh wait, you got a whole bag
No.
you got to reach into?
I have. Hang on, let me get my wallet out.
Wait, what is going on?
My Trump wallet.
You have a Trump wallet.
All my cash goes right in there, and it folds up very nice.
Okay, the Trump wallet is just like pictures of Trump as $100 bill.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's another thing that my father-in-law got me. I'm gonna use his name, but yeah. So this is another thing he got me. I wear the Trump. Yeah.
All right.
And then I have. Let's see here. What's in my little bag of tricks? Oh.
Yeah.
A Trump gold $100 bill.
Okay.
I just for emergency situations, if I ever need to use it. I've never, tried to use it, but
It's not legal tender. But
it's not legal tender.
Well, I mean, it's
It
not
says
a
$100
real-
on there. What do you mean?
It's not.
I can't go down and use this after the show.
It's not $100. No.
Oh, well, it says $100. I thought that we were going to be transitioning over to new money.
Well, you might be onto something there, but not right now. No, that's not.
So this isn't worth anything.
No. Well.
You know what
is
I
it
mean.
gold?
This isn't worth $100. Is what you're telling me?
No. Is it gold?
Yeah.
Is it fake gold? Is it gold plated? What is it? Okay. It sounded like paper. When you got here today, how good were those sandwiches?
Yeah, they were fine.
Like they were really like the bread was really good though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. Bread's bread
Was
to me.
that the best bread you ever had? Though?
No.
Come on, seriously, that was like the best bread you ever had.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, I've had a lot. And if you see me from the waist down, I like my carbs. I eat a lot of bread, and probably not the best. I mean, it was good. It passed. I thought the sandwich itself. I mean, the contents of the sandwich were really good. I just thought the bread fell a little short, but no big deal. I mean,
You're
bread's,
telling me that wasn't like the best bread you ever had?
no, it wasn't that soft. I prefer again my bread to be a little softer, a little more hearty. I thought it was kind of thin. It was like cardboard. But again, that's just me. I didn't care for that bread. But
Could you tell it was homemade?
no, it wasn't homemade. Who made it? You?
Yeah. You
You
could tell
made
that
that
was
bread.
homemade.
It did not taste homemade. I actually thought it came out like a vending machine.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
How about when I made you a second sandwich, and when I came back, that first one was gone.
yeah, it was gone the minute you got out of your chair. I literally threw that bread outside.
What?
Yeah, it's that bad. That bread was awful. A squirrel wouldn't even go for that bread. Did you? You're telling me you ate that bread, right? Did you notice? So first of all, I threw it out there. Birds are breaking their beaks on that thing. Squirrels won't even touch it. It's so freaking dry. I felt like I felt like I needed to be like Joey Chestnut over here, taking the bread, dunking it in water while I eat the sandwich. It was awful. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I don't want any more of that bread.
It wasn't dry. It was artisan. First off,
I don't care what it was. It was dry. I mean, I literally, like I said, it was like breaking it in half, like brittle. It was terrible.
it was like a premium blend. It was the best homemade bread you've ever had in your life. I don't know why you're fighting me on this. This was like, you can't even buy this kind of bread in a store.
I don't want to buy it in the store. So what? All right. So let's take a little deeper dive here. Okay. So this great bread that you supposedly made.
I did make it.
Well, okay. We're not going to debate that. All right. So tell me,
It's
what
homemade.
All right. Well, I don't care how you made it, but all right. So talk to me. How did you make it? What did you make it? What is it? How'd you make it?
Well, I mean, I used a mix, if that's what.
Okay. So you made a mix. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and you got it at the store? How much did that cost? Or did you get it online?
Well, I mean, I bought the mix at the store.
Okay. How much?
I don't know, it's like $7 or $9.
$7 or $9? What?
Yeah.
You can buy a loaf of Wonder Bread for less than $4. Why would you want to go through the trouble to make something that tasted like that? It was awful.
But this is premium. This is like, you ever go to Panera?
Yeah.
You ever been to Panera
I
Bender?
have. I've never had bread that bad.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Well, this is like Panera, but I made it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No. It's
Have
awful.
you had Panera Bender?
I have had Panera, big guy, and it's no good.
This
That bread
was
was terrible.
homemade. This was premium. I tell you what.
You got ripped off.
No.
$8 you paid for this, and then the amount of time. How long did it take to make the bread? Let's just. Okay, so we got the amount of money it cost. How long did it take to make that? I'll call it bread.
Well, why is that relevant?
Well, because when you're looking at something, makes sense financially, or like you got to take in, okay, the time it did to make it, or the effort
It's my
that went
time,
in.
though.
I know that, but time is money.
Not if you're willing and dedicated.
Well, you didn't answer my question. How long did it take to make the bread? Did you make it today before I came over, or did you make it yesterday? It felt like you made it like 4 weeks ago.
No.
Yeah, that's what it tasted like.
No, it was fresh.
Okay. Well, how long did it take? I'm asking.
See, the beautiful thing about it is you can make it and then, you can let it cook overnight.
Okay.
So, it was a simple, 12-hour bake.
12 hours?
Yeah. Well, it's premium.
12 hours it took to make that garbage? I'm sorry, that bread was awful. It was absolutely awful.
Now, first,
You and I have been friends a long time, my man, and let me tell you something. Friendship aside, that bread, I'm sorry, that was terrible bread. I'm sorry it took 12 hours to make it. I'm sorry you spent $8 on that. You got ripped off. This is a complete scam.
I'll tell you what. Right now,
Yep.
if I went to Panera
Yep.
and I got their best bread.
Yep. Artisan, whatever it is.
Yes.
Yep.
How much do you think that would cost?
For the sandwich, you mean?
No,
the sandwich
no.
would probably cost you $8.
If you bought a loaf of bread at Panera.
I don't know. I haven't bought a loaf of bread. I'm going to guess probably
$25, I bet.
Okay.
For a whole loaf.
For a loaf of,
Yeah.
but it tastes good and it's good bread. I mean, it tastes good.
Well,
but,
so did mine.
well, how much? How much?
You might have got a bad piece. Maybe did you try this? Where's the second sandwich?
Gone.
You ate it.
No, that one's out in the garbage as well. I am not eating any of this. It is so. I told you, so dry. I literally felt like Joey Chestnut at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, having to take that sandwich. I bit into it. I thought I may have even cracked a cavity or something, and then it's terrible. I can't eat it. I have a sensitive stomach. So yeah, it was awful.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, I appreciate it, big guy, but I'm going to ask you, don't use that bread anymore.
I've got post-show sandwiches made.
I'll take one to go.
Which I made some for Jeannie.
Oh, good. I'll get her opinion, but yeah, I'll pass it on to her. She'll be very appreciative. But yeah, you got ripped off.
All right.
Yeah. Enough of the bread.
All right. It's time for trending topics.
All right. Not the bread.
ahead.
That's not trending. I can tell you that.
So we're doing our top stories from 2024. Bender, you're going to cover your top story from 2024. And guess what? It's about Donald Trump. Go ahead.
For every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, there's other ones. Trust me, there's a whole list of quotes. It's not the only one. So, okay, top stories of 2024. Definitely. I mean, there's a laundry list of them, big guy. But this Trump assassination on July 13th, the attempted assassination of the now president-elect Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, outdoor venue. Assassin's bullet grazed his ear, and we almost lost him. And responsible was 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who got onto a rooftop that was not secured by the Secret Service. That's a whole different conversation. And he took a shot at Trump. 8 shots, missed him, but one grazed his ear, and thank God we have Donald Trump alive. But unfortunately, we did lose somebody, and we had 2 critically injured. Corey Compantora, fireman who was protecting his family, has connections to Buffalo, New York. He unfortunately lost his life due to the just brazen attack by Mr. Crooks. So not only, I mean, we haven't had a assassination attempt on a president in over close to 40 years. And Trump almost, his life was almost taken. I mean, it's unconceivable when you look at the facts to see how far this guy was away from Trump. And thank God that he was a bad shot. And thank God Trump turned his head to look at that graph about the immigration numbers, because we could have lost him. And that would have been such a tragedy for this country. I can't even imagine what would have happened knowing the support that he did garner during the election. If he was assassinated, it would be a very scary situation. However, I keep going on. It's the amount of information that we're not given on this, I think, is what really is bothering me. The urgency to find out who is Mr. Matthew Crooks. What was his motivation? Was he supported by people? They call him a lone wolf. I don't believe he was a lone wolf. A guy who had a laptop, 2 phones. The guy had was flying a drone above the site prior to the assassination attempt. This guy worked as a nutritional aide at a nursing home. Where did he get the supplies? Where did he get these types of encrypted devices that he used that had platforms registered like in Belgium, New Zealand, Germany? It just makes no sense. And then the fact that his body was cremated less than a month later, August 5th, they cremated his body, so all the proof is gone. Apparently he was cremated. I mean, we don't even know if that's true. Just the lack of Secret Service in their protection of the president. We just can't get any answers. And I think that's what bothers me the most, big guy, is just that this has just kind of been swept under the carpet.
So what you're basically saying is we don't know we don't have a definitive story about the assassination.
Yes.
What really happened? Who was involved? Why did the day's events unfold the way they did? Why did the Secret Service act the way they did? Why did everything happen? Something we've talked about last 2 weeks ago. Stories unfold. We don't get the full story.
Nope.
And we as the American people are left to wonder and then speculate, and then conspiracy theories unfold. And then more and more people get radicalized by their beliefs, which are then usually unfounded. And then they end up renting cyber trucks and driving to Vegas. That's what happens.
Yep. So and my feelings towards Donald Trump.
No, could you spell it out?
Oh, just kidding. So what I think that I'm a little taken back by is, I don't know how to say this. The lack of urgency on Trump's part. I mean, he doesn't talk about it. Like, someone just tried taking his life. In any interview I ever saw that he did about it, he's cool and collective. And he just, for the fight guy, he's not fighting to find out what happened. And I'm a little disappointed in that. He had his life almost taken. So then, then you start wondering, like, I don't know. I just thought that the way Trump has historically acted, like a foreign country comes over here, they try to do something, he's acting, but he'll do everything. He'll deport all these people, clean up everything, but he's not cleaning up his own assassination attempt. And I don't get it. Does that make sense? I don't understand. Like, there's no urgency, like, about him talking about releasing him for, I don't know.
I think the disconnect may be that this kid was acting alone, and there isn't anything else to discover.
It's just that plain and simple. There's no conspiracy. There's no twist to the plot. It's just that we had a guy who obviously didn't like Trump, and he was radicalized in whatever way you want to call radicalized, as far as doesn't have to just be, Islam, radicalization.
Look at everything we just talked about with New Orleans and Vegas. Look at the other assassination attempt on Trump at his golf course.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
These are people who are driven by their beliefs, which are usually
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I guess my biggest thing is just, again, I go, and I'm not saying he didn't have access to get these things. I just find it that looking at his makeup, of who this person was and just who he surrounded himself with, and for him to have like encrypted phones, and he had all these different types of devices, and I just don't know how someone who is a nurse's aide at a I'm not trying to pigeonhole him, but in a nurse's aide or a nutritional aide at a nursing home just plots all this.
What is encrypted phone, though?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, so we need that to be defined.
Right.
Encrypted could mean that they were unable to hack it, right?
Right.
Which is similar as, they don't know his password, or they're unable to get into it. Right?
I would, yes, I would agree with that.
So,
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't actually mean anything to me, right?
Right.
If you were unable to access my phone because you don't know my password, and you say that, well, it's encrypted, well, you just don't know the name of my fantasy baseball team from 1988. That's why you don't.
But wouldn't they have it? Wouldn't it seem with all the technology just to get into this guy's phone, it would just be? Is it that hard? Really? I didn't know that. I thought it would just be a simple task to get into someone's phone. We could do everything.
Cybersecurity, I think you understand two-step verification and all the different methods people have to protect their phones. The government has the same issues trying to access phones as criminals do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess the long and the short of all this would be basically just I would like to bring closure to this. Not that there'll ever be closure, but just a definitive answer. And I'm probably looking at something I'll never find. I guess it's like banging my head against the wall. But this to me was just a huge event.
Yes.
I remember coming downstairs. I was upstairs and I was doing something, and I came down and I remember hearing my wife scream, like, "Oh my God!" And I was
that could mean so many things.
Right. You haven't met my wife, so I thought,
"Oh my God, Scotty, you're making too much noise. Stop eating.
Stop chewing. Stop breathing." But I came running downstairs. I really thought something happened to her, and then she was in front of the TV. They tried to kill Trump, and I'm like, oh my God. So I remember that, just rushing down the stairs on that day. But hopefully, maybe when Trump gets in, and maybe they'll release more information or more facts or more details to come. But that would be my top story of 2024 amongst a lot of the different things that happened. So.
Yes. So I definitely agree. That is a huge story. We probably don't talk enough about the fact that there were 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump.
Yep.
A major story. Just incredible. What a year 2024 has been and was. And did I mention what a great picture we have of drones? Because drones has been a major topic this year. And let's get into the real dirty underground of drones. Luis Elizondo is a former top government guy. He testified in front of Congress in October. He revealed a lot of information. Due to his national security clearance, he was unable to reveal as much as he wants to. He did reveal the existence of UPAs, right? That's what they're calling UFOs these days.
Oh, they don't call them unidentified flying objects anymore.
No, they're unidentified
aerial devices,
something like that. Yeah. He revealed that there are 60, 70 years of FBI government files on these unidentified objects. And his testimony opened a ton of eyes to new aspects of this whole situation. I'm being vague because this is mind-blowing when you hear some of what he has to say. I heard what he had to say on a recent episode of Smartless, another podcast that you should probably listen to after this one. You know, you like, subscribe to this one. You bookmark this one. And then you listen to that one after this one. And then you like this one first. Is that right, Scotty?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
We might have to repeat that later. But yeah, and I'm going to also just throw my support for that podcast. I did listen to the interview that you are referring to right now. I'm not going to jump in. I'll let you keep going on about it. But it is mind-blowing.
So what ties this all together is the drone activity is connected to everything that's happened before, right? This is the lines that Elizondo is drawing. He can't go and say what he wants to say because of his clearance.
He'll get thrown in jail.
Right.
They will prosecute him. He made it very clear that if he says one thing out of line or that's not, he can be thrown in jail.
Right. He'll lose his national security clearance.
Yep.
He'll lose his freedom. He wants the government to come forward. He wants them to reveal this information. He feels like the government is withholding it for reasons that have to do with like the public perception, the public acceptance, right? This is potentially what would you describe it, Bender?
Life-changing?
Life-changing news, right?
It's going to set back hundreds of years of what people believed.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's going to change culture.
Yeah.
It's going to change culture.
Yeah.
What you think you know now, you don't know. Right?
Yeah. It's wild.
It is pretty wild. I almost have to go back and listen to it again just to really grasp and just to hear it again, because you hear it for the first time. It's just kind of like you're glazed over. Like, what did I just hear? And then you got to go back and really listen to it again. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents on this situation. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I've always believed in that type of thing. It's just, yeah. So
I'll try to give some of the highlights.
Yes.
Just quickly. So first off, in regards to the drones, yes, there are a lot of actual consumer drones in the skies. People are filming them. Just ignore those. Yes, there are airplanes in the sky. People are filming those. Ignore those. What we're seeing that is abnormal are the drones that are flying over government areas that are what you would call restricted airspace. This is areas that no one can fly in. These ships are flying there. These ships have been identified as flying. Okay, so the way he describes it is humans can withstand a certain number of G-force before they lose consciousness. It's like 7 Gs or 9 Gs. The ships we create, man-made ships, can withstand 16 forces of G before they disintegrate. These ships are traveling at thousands of G-force. It's impossible for man-made ships to do that. It's impossible for human beings to be in said ships and survive. That's mind-blowing.
yes,
The ships are turning on a dime. Our best ships, airships, if they turn, it takes half the state of Iowa to make that turn.
we've all seen Maverick and we've all seen Top Gun. We've
right.
seen, so yeah.
Yeah, you've made a U-turn on the highway. Right?
Yeah, right, just in a car, yeah.
You got to do a little loop.
Well, these things are just spinning right.
Right, exactly, just like that. Good sound effect, too. I wonder what Trump would say.
I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
That
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So what does all this mean? He says in the next 3 to 5 years, he thinks the truth will come out. and the world as we know it will be changing.
So I listened to the pod, but just what makes him? Why 3 to 5 years? Did he mention that? Why 3 to 5? Like, why is he using that?
The frequency of all the sightings and everything being escalated. It's getting to the point where things have to like come out.
Yeah. I wish it was sooner than 3 years, but so does that explain why some of these drones that these folks are seeing are untraceable? They try to go up and try to monitor these unidentified objects, I'll call them, and they can't because they move so quick. And I think you said about turning on a dime, they could just flip and they're gone, and we can't catch them.
Right.
Is that so? Is that about accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
He describes.
I'm trying to put two pieces together, but I remember the drones. They can't. People are like, oh, why don't they just send a drone up and follow it around? Well, it's not that easy because it's not another drone.
He talks about like when something crosses restricted airspace. What happens is our government sends up our drones, and they fly up to see what is in the airspace and to intercept. And they are unable to find or intercept the other ships.
I think that's an important point to make, big guy. I think that's people need to know that because people are listening are going, well, if they're in a restricted airspace, why don't they shoot them down? Why don't they do this? They can't.
Yeah.
They can't. These things are, they just can't. They can't find them, right? I mean.
And a lot of what people might be seeing when they see drones in the sky over air bases, they might be seeing the government drones doing their grid search of the sky after one of these aliens, sorry, I used the word aliens, one of these UPA or whatever have been seen. I shouldn't have said aliens because I don't think they are necessarily aliens.
In the sense of what we have been used to in the movies and things like these aliens have big heads, skinny little bodies. When people think of aliens, they always think of
Close Encounters.
But where was the crash out there in the desert?
Roswell.
Yeah, Roswell. Yes, they think of that. They think of that picture, the big head and the skinny arms, and and these are just like organisms, right, or something. They're
so what? What are we talking about? We're talking potentially. Let's start back. There are forms of life. There is plant life, animal life, which human beings fall into. There is fungi, is a third form of life. There's a fourth form of life called microorganisms. So in the entire history of the world, we always had plant and animal. Only in the last 200 years did fungi be discovered. In the last 90 years, we discovered microorganisms. Is it possible now, in present day, we've discovered a fifth form of life?
Yep.
So now we have maybe a fifth. I'm doing this. Fifth form of life.
Wow, mind blowing.
Why don't we see it?
Great question. That was kind of the things I was wondering. Why are we not seeing this?
The human eye can perceive something like 3% of what is visible.
Oh, only 3%.
So you think about things like infrared vision, and there are these different cameras that have been invented. They can expand what we see through these cameras to cover other parts of the spectrum, but that still leaves something like 85% of the spectrum we can't see.
Even with those other aids, there's aids like infrared and night vision and all that other,
Right. Okay. So what could be in that area that we don't see? And what's out there that we're not seeing? What could trigger stuff that's in there that we're not seeing? Could like 5G be triggering stuff? Could advanced technology like the 5G signals now in the airwaves? could
Cryptocurrency, the mining, those.
advanced computers,
Yeah.
AI, all the constant computer processing now going on to power the mining and AI.
So what you're saying is it's interfering with the norm that they're used to. So that maybe that's the activity we're seeing. It's been the activity is forcing these whatever they are out into a more where we see them, I guess is the best way to put it. Or
Well, and almost all of the appearances are around military or strategic sites, which is alarming, right?
right, it's not just a coincidence.
And it's not just America, it's not just New Jersey. That's a major misconception.
You know, and you don't hear about it. You're right. We just hear about here locally, and like you said, half of it is garbage because it's just a plane or a drone, and you know. But you're right. Britain, I think there have been a lot of sightings in England and
Russia, everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so many people on social media are just making fun of, drones in New Jersey.
No.
New Jerseys are stupid. But then the one thing I wanted to make clear is that Elizondo takes things to a certain point and he can't go really and finish his thought. So I'm extrapolating. I'm giving you like kind of what I think he is saying or is leading to. I'm not necessarily sure about all of this, but that appears to be what he is saying. The other part of this is there is just a lot of evidence out there. The released documents from the FBI, the government stuff, that is all legit and that is all out there. The videos that were shown in Congress, that's all out there. I mean, this stuff is kind of at the point, it's what you might call a breaking point, where it is time for the government to like acknowledge and step up and just say, hey, you know, all right, let's say this stuff's there. We say something's going on. Let's get past it, accept it, and what's next? What's our next level of involvement with our higher level of life form in the sky?
I think that's the most important part of this. It's the releasing of it, but what are we going to do next? Because this really is going to change a lot of folks' opinion about religion. I mean, you know, Christians and Catholics, and I mean, just the way Islam. I mean, I can go on and on. It's just it's going to view things. It's going to crush a lot of theology. I mean, it's know that did aliens create the pyramids? I mean, stuff like that. Who the hell knows?
It could upend a lot of people's personal beliefs because now the answer to a lot of life's eternal questions could be, they just did it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And, coming from a God-fearing person that I am, I mean, that would change my view about things. I mean, if aliens came down here and I knew that, we started to get really the facts behind the history of this, it's going to be, like we say, mind-blowing. Yeah. But I think it's just the way they handle it. If they got to handle it the right way. And unfortunately, the government's not known to do that. So that's a worry.
One more comment from Trump.
Yeah, let's see what Donald Trump has to say.
We are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Wow.
That's right.
Can you imagine if that was true? I think he did transfer power, but it was to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and a bunch of billionaires. What do you think of that?
I'm going to hold my comments until he gets in office. So I
love the First Amendment. Nobody loves it better than me. Nobody.
Yeah.
Who uses it more than I do?
So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Time for a sponsor break.
Okay. Good. Who we got this week?
Are you tired of inviting friends over for lunch and having to serve them the same old sandwiches? Feel embarrassed by the store brand bread? Well, your friends at Mazook have the perfect solution. bringing premium homemade bread into your home whenever you want it. That's right, get your own brick oven bread maker by Mizzou.
Whoa, big guy. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, if I'm understanding this correctly, that bread that you served me earlier today, that I threw outside and threw in the garbage.
You threw it outside?
Yeah. This is from our sponsor?
Yeah.
Whoa, you didn't tell me that. Well, you didn't tell me any of this. You said you made bread, and I'm sorry, it was terrible. But you didn't say it was one of our sponsors. You got to tell me this kind of stuff. We can't air this.
You really didn't like the bread?
No, I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
I can't believe you didn't like the bread.
No, I didn't like the bread. I didn't like the bread at all. It was the worst bread I've ever had. But more importantly, I don't even care about the taste of it. This is our sponsor. We talked about, you should have told me. I wouldn't have been so harsh on it. I mean, can you edit this out?
Well, I mean, we've talked so much about it. I don't know how much of the show would be
Well,
left.
you got to do something. We can't let it air.
I honestly can't believe you didn't like the bread. I thought you would love the bread.
No, I don't like the bread. It was the worst bread. It was ridiculous, and now we have to talk about it. And I didn't know that.
Why did you think I gave you sandwiches?
Because you were just a good guy, I mean, I drove out here to come do the podcast with you. I figured you were just like, hey, Bender, just gonna do you a solid. I got you a Christmas card.
We've been making shows together for 20 years. I never made you sandwiches before.
True. I just thought it was a new year, new big guy. Maybe we were just starting a new little, a new thing that we were going to do together.
Honest hand to God, I thought you would like the bread.
And on this hand to God, I didn't. So,
Man.
all right, okay.
The days of boring sandwiches are over. For the cost of only a small compact car, you can have fresh bread in your home anytime you want it. Do you like white bread? How about wheat? Sourdough? Well, if you know how to make it, then you are on your way. Sounds pretty good, huh, Bender?
I'm taking a fifth.
Oh, damn it. I really thought you would like the bread.
I didn't. I don't know how else to say it.
If you had your way and you could make your own bread, what kind would you make?
I would probably, if I could make a bread that actually tastes good, sourdough.
Oh.
Yeah, low in calories. It's probably low in sugar. Sourdough is probably one of your healthier breads, believe it or not.
That bread today was sourdough.
Oh. Still, it didn't taste like sourdough.
No?
No. It was sour, but not sourdough. I'm soured on it. It was just not good. Big guy, I'm not sorry to hurt your feelings. I know you liked it. I just didn't like it. It was not good. And
I got to tell you. It
doesn't mean that our fans out there listening might not like it. Don't go by what I'm saying. I'm just telling you, I didn't like it.
Honest to God, it was hours and hours of work. Like, I can't
Well,
tell
I'm
you,
sorry you can't get that time back in your life, but
I can't tell you how much work went into making this bread. Like, you wouldn't believe how much work.
Well, I appreciate the effort, but I'm not going to apologize for how I feel about the bread. It just was not good, and it was dry. It just was.
All right. Jeez, mother of.
All right, let's just get through this.
We guarantee satisfaction. You and your family, and even your most discerning friends, will be blown away by the bread that you create from your very own brick oven bread maker by Mizzou. Disclaimer. Mizzou guarantees that the brick oven bread maker works as advertised and does bake bread, but the quality and presentation of the bread made is 100% dependent on the baker and not the responsibility of the creative minds at Mizzou or the members of the board at Mizzou Properties or its parent company, General Business Enterprises of Ecuador International, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. The brick oven bread maker should not be used by anyone without completing the 6-week online training course, and all warranties are void without proper use of safety garments and equipment. By purchasing the brick oven bread maker by Mizzou, end user agrees to solely accept blame for any household fires or explosions that may result from indoor use of the brick oven. So, I mean, it's just...
Did you actually take a 6-week online training course? Did you do that? Or maybe that's the problem. Maybe you didn't take the course and
I gotta tell you, I tried to wing it a little.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why it didn't taste so good.
my kitchen's a little bit of a disaster right now. They really, the home assembly of the brick oven, I mean, it's a good thing we didn't have a show last week. I needed the extra week. Wow.
But you're telling me you didn't do the 6-week online training, though?
I just didn't have the time.
Okay. So, that maybe could explain why the bread didn't taste so good. And maybe
I thought it tasted fine.
Well, let me, talk to me after 6 weeks after you do the online training, and then maybe we can give it another shot. But as of right now, thumbs down for me. I'm sorry. But doesn't mean that other folks out there won't like it. I just have no use for this brick oven bread maker. Sorry, Mazook.
So that's our sponsor.
Yeah.
If you want one, I guess visit their website.
Yeah. Well,
we'll be back.
On the waves of the ocean.
What a year of getaways. Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy, with my 2024 look back. Maybe a few ideas for the new year. Look for my show now on Facebook and YouTube.
And we are back. Your
Fans.
content is DIScontent and Don Diggity Dog Bender. Time for questions from our viewers.
Oh, love to hear from our viewers. Love it.
Man.
Love fan mail. I love
do they
mailbag.
love asking us questions? They are coming in faster than we can answer them.
Yep.
If you would like to ask us a question, it is 1-585-431-6739.
Don't be a stranger.
Oh, please. Ask away. Here's this week's question.
Hey y'all, just wondering if y'all think you being too hard on Elon Musk. He ain't done nothing wrong. And Scotty, you too funny man, you should have your own show, for sure,
Scotty, what do you think?
I'm not hard on Elon Musk. I think you are a little more hard on Elon Musk. I know we talked about him, as the right and his neo-Nazi background and influence, but I'm not buying into any of it. I don't. No, I like Elon. Unless he proves me wrong. I think he's going to do a lot of good things for the government. I think this Doji committee with Vivek is going to be good, and I think I know that we're going to save some money. And I'm all behind Elon Musk, and I don't believe that Trump is a puppet, like he says he is. Right, Donald?
Basically, all I've done is keep my promise.
That's right. That's all he's done is keep his promise. That's all he's going to do. So, but go ahead. I'm an Elon Musk fan.
You saw what happened with Elon and Laura Loomer this week. Laura is one of Trump's MAGA loyalists. She and Steve Bannon.
Yep, I know who Steve Bannon is.
Have been kind of barred by Elon from Twitter for disagreeing with Elon. Elon has, there's a little bit of a civil war going on with them. It does appear that if you disagree with Elon on Twitter, you get banned, even if you are a MAGA.
Oh, I gotta be careful.
Good response. Well, I think the underlying thing is, I think whether you like Elon or not, it's all going to blow up with Trump. There's no way those two guys are going to stay on the same page.
I can see your point, but I'm going to take the other side of it and say that they will. I'm optimistic.
Says the guy with the hat he bought in 2022.
That's right. And
the shirt with the hair.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And Donald?
Fox and Friends in the morning, they're very honorable people.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But to that second point of the thing, I appreciate the shout out for, I've had my own podcast. I'm not ready for that yet. I got to tell you, the big guy here is the stir that mixes the drinks here on this podcast. So no, I'm not ready for that. Thank you. Maybe down the road, but right now, not something that I'm thinking about. But I appreciate that.
The stir that mixes, was that a
Stirs the drink. You're the plastic straw that stirs the drink. Meaning you're the main person here.
Was that a reference to the bread?
No, the bread was bad. We got to get off the bread. We got to talk about that offline.
Let's not talk about the bread.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the top stories of 2024. So this is just going to be kind of a quick rundown.
Mm-hmm.
The show's gone long. We've talked a lot of stuff today.
It's a new year. I mean, I knew this show was going to be a little longer.
Well, there's a lot to cover.
There really is. I mean, yeah.
So Bender, let's start right off the bat.
Yep.
Tell us about Joe Biden.
Okay.
What happened in 2024 that caused Joe Biden to go from president to no longer running for re-election?
Trump annihilated him in the debate.
Okay, well, let's...
I mean, he actually stomped a mud hole in him. I mean, it was bad. And I'm being very biased here.
I noticed that.
But I am biased, but I still think it was awful. His cognitive abilities obviously have decreased dramatically, and that was shown on the stage during the only public debate between Donald Trump and Mr. Joe Biden, President Joe Biden.
Okay. So that is...
And then he was basically forced out by Nancy Pelosi and her crooked group of people.
Okay. So the summary is Biden was forced out after the terrible debate performance. Mm-hmm. You were super happy.
Yes.
You hated Joe Biden.
Yes.
You had to think about that.
Well...
You're still thinking about it.
Well, I don't know if I hate Joe Biden. I hate Nancy Pelosi. I hate the people around Joe Biden. I don't know if I necessarily hate Joe Biden. Joe Biden, I
loved Joe Biden when he put on that Trump hat.
Yes.
That's what you love.
Yes. Okay, so let me just make it real clear. I don't hate Joe Biden. I do feel some sympathy towards him. The fact that he was held up as a puppet all these years by the people surrounding him, his inner circle.
Have you ever said, "Let's go, Brandon"?
I have a sticker.
Oh.
Yeah, I've said, "Let's go, Brandon." I think that was pretty funny, actually, that they were saying that. You have to admit, that was pretty funny, what they were saying. And that reporter was like, had to try to cover up what they were saying in the crowd, that "Let's go, Brandon." Like,
yeah, Bender. That was hilarious.
But Joe Biden still thinks I've read reports that he still thinks he could have won if he would have stuck it out. I don't know.
Yeah. He also thinks it's 2014.
So let me ask you, outside of his debate performance, okay, let's just ask you.
Yeah, he should have never run for re-election. When he originally
Do you think he could have beat Trump?
I'll just say, when he originally ran, he said he was running for one term because he was the guy who could beat Trump, get the party back on its feet.
Correct.
And then he would step down.
There'd be a transitional person.
Right.
Yes.
He should have stuck to that. I don't know why this all of a sudden became, I'm going to run again. It was a mistake. He was too old. For a president, he had disappeared. He stopped doing press conferences. You never heard from him. He was being sheltered by his people.
Yep, his handlers.
Yeah. It was all signs pointed to disaster pending.
So that's why I say I don't want to say I feel bad. It's not, I don't know what the right word would be to describe my feelings, but
right. You can't blame him.
No.
His handlers, like you said, right? The people making
his decisions,
his schedule, right? Yep. His appointments, the people saying, "Hey, don't do that, don't do this." They were misguided, maybe.
Well, and again, I'm going to take the other side of the topic and say, if you were
other side of which topic?
Oh, I'm sorry. I take the other side of the Joe Biden. Like, what are you supposed to do though if you're a Democrat? Do you come out and tell the American people his cognitive abilities is decreasing and becoming worse, or do you hide it? I don't know. Like, I'm not saying hiding it was. I don't know what I would have done.
See, this this is what
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they come out and they court him out there, say he's got problems, that's going to cause a whole different set of issues. Or if you hide it, I don't know what you do. That's
if you are the Democratic Party, right?
right.
And you are the party that supposedly, from your long history, stand for different principles.
Correct.
Then you would stand up and say, Joe Biden is going to step down due to this, and this. Kamala Harris is now president.
Yep.
That should have happened in 2022, 2023, before the re-election campaign even started. That's what should have happened.
I saw him last night. I'm sorry, this is time sensitive, but he was doing the Medal of Honor presentations.
Yeah.
He didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
It was sad. I was sitting there with my wife, and I wasn't even like. Usually, I'm more vocal and condescending about this type and trying to pick it apart. I couldn't. It was. I felt bad for the guy.
Right.
I really did. I was just like, he shouldn't be out there.
So
From this day forward,
Wait,
it's
what
going to be only America first.
That's right. All right.
wow. What a great addition to the show.
He really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Other topics from 2024: extreme weather, hurricanes, tornadoes. We had it all. Bender, you lived in Florida. What was
did.
that like?
I was there for
Milton?
no,
Freddie?
no.
I don't know the names of the
It
others.
was Hurricane.
Agnes?
No, it was the one in. Yeah, no, it was Hurricane. Oh my God, I'm having a brain fog. Anyways, I lived through a hurricane.
Trump picked JD Vance as his vice president. That was a top story because that was kind of out of the blue, right? Did you see JD Vance as a potential pick?
I wasn't really sure who he was going to pick. I didn't really have an opinion on that. I didn't think JD Vance. That was out of nowhere. I'll be transparent. In the beginning, everyone was really excited. I was skeptical. He got a lot of bad press immediately, and they've tried to vet him, and you know how that goes. But I think
Did you have someone else in mind?
not Matt Gaetz.
No.
I know that was a joke. No, not really. No. I just knew I didn't want Mike Pence again for sure. But no, I didn't really have anybody. But Vance, I got to tell you, what really won me over with JD Vance was his debate performance against Walsh.
Yeah.
I thought he was solid. He was calm. He wasn't rattled. He didn't attack. He was professional. He was knowledgeable. He didn't just throw a bunch of things against. He answered the questions. He didn't, I felt a lot of times when it comes to Trump, when people don't know what to debate, they just accuse Trump. Bring a topic up, oh, Trump's fault. And big guy, you have to admit, that kind of does happen a little bit. They will throw it against him. Oh, it's his fault. He didn't, he was, blaming him things for 4 years ago. But I just thought he did a good job. I thought the debate was interesting overall. I'm going to give some props to Walsh. I mean, I enjoyed the fact it was cordial to the degree. I get tired of the negativity all the time. I think we all do.
Oh, yeah.
We all do. And it was just good to see these two guys congratulate each other after, regardless of their views.
I don't like JD Vance.
Okay.
But I do admit, of all four people running, Harris, Waltz, Trump, Vance, I thought Vance was the best presenter at the debates.
I would agree with you.
Of all four, he was the one who looked the most presidential. He was the best speaker. He was the one who looked like he could go on the world stage and talk. And
I appreciate you saying that in the sense, because I do agree.
I would just be afraid what he would say. That would be the next part.
But he was polished. He was polished. I mean, and when I say about Kamala, I'm not here to attack Kamala Harris either, but I'm saying a lot of her debating was just Trump did this, Trump did that. Trump's evil, he's a Nazi, and there's no substance to anything she said. It was just always bashing Trump, and obviously that didn't work. So,
right. I mean, her plan to win was I'm not Donald Trump, and you say it didn't work. I mean, it wasn't that far off. It was pretty close.
No, I'm just saying that she was, if she would have been, was able to talk a little bit more about issues and just had, when she went on The View and said, "Oh, I wouldn't change anything Joe Biden did," and that was just
Right. That was bad.
that was bad. Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about The View?
No.
No? All right. Alec Baldwin found not guilty of manslaughter. That was the top story. What do you think?
I think he's insane to a degree. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't have much to say about it. I'm aware of the situation, but I don't know if he should have been guilty or not. I don't know. I don't know.
Insane. Explain.
Just,
Politically? You just don't like him because of the
no,
politics?
I just think he's just out there. He's a little crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I think he is.
Huh.
I remember that thing we did on our old TV show where we were talking
Because
about
of
him
his
later.
daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? You're a big movie guy, and
Yeah.
you know a lot about behind the scenes. In all seriousness, what did you think?
I don't think you can hold him responsible.
No, that I don't. Agreed. I don't
Sure.
think he should be responsible. If that's what you're asking me, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
I think he was generally upset.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like Alec Baldwin as a performer and actor.
Yes.
And I do know he's one of your big New York City liberals.
Mm-hmm.
So he's often attacked for his beliefs. But, I think he's really funny.
He is.
I like him. He's
What was that show he was great in?
30 Rock.
Yes.
Great show.
I gotta watch
Tremendous.
some of those again. I gotta dig those back up again.
Hey,
Along
Mitch McConnell stepped down. Talk
Good.
about,
Good.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Good.
Yeah. He had some senior moments.
I mean, and physically too. I mean,
Yeah.
he just didn't look good, and he's a rhino.
Oppenheimer won Best Picture.
What movie?
Oppenheimer? Did you see Oppenheimer?
No,
You didn't see Oppenheimer?
I did not know. I might have read about it on Wikipedia.
Did you want me to tell you about it?
I probably could tell you about it. I mean, I don't know if you know this about me.
No.
When I watch a movie, I like to go in stale.
You like to go in stale?
Meaning, I like to know the plot and the going ons before. So I can't tell you the last movie I watched that I didn't go in stale. I'll call it, not fresh, because fresh is when you don't know anything. I go in stale. I know everything. My wife hates it because she will know that I know the ending. Like, what was the most recent movie Shyamalan came out with? I watched that about the guy that went to the concert,
Yeah.
with his daughter, and he was a serial killer. I had read all about it. I already knew what happened. I went in stale, and she didn't. My wife doesn't appreciate it. But you know what's funny? There's times that she'll ask me, "Well, what's going to happen next?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought you didn't want to know," because I already know. I don't know if it's probably a disorder. My wife probably can tell you what a disorder is if you like to know movie plots before. But I can tell you, I can't tell you the last movie that I went in quote unquote fresh, not stale.
Wow.
Yeah. So Oppenheimer, I know it's about the nuclear bomb. I know it's the guy from the Scarecrow from Batman who played Scarecrow's in it. I like him. I know Robert Downey Jr. won a supporting actor Academy Award, was it Academy Award or Oscar?
Same thing.
Oh, they're the same thing? Okay. Well, he won the
So-
award, so I got to watch it. It's just long.
It is.
It's like English patient long.
Oh, wow.
Not. I'm not saying compare to the movies. I'm just saying it's long, and I gotta,
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, I'll let you know when I watch it. But I'm pretty sure I read about it, and
All right.
Wikipedia.
So
is my
we
friend.
learned a lot today. You go in stale.
Yep.
To go in fresh is to know nothing.
Correct.
But you go in stale. You know
Like
everything.
I get the fresh from the Seinfeld episode
Sure.
when the
Frank
father was
Costanza.
talking at the dinner table. I go in fresh. You know what I mean? They were trying to
Right.
tell the movie Firestorm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go in stale. So if you ever go to a movie with me, I already know everything. I can tell you the plot. I can tell you everything.
Is there a movie coming up that you've already researched but haven't seen yet? do you do it well in advance, or do you do it like, hey, tonight I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to research it right now and then watch it?
Yeah. So the movies that are, a lot of the new ones are coming out. Wikipedia, which I use extensively, they won't tell you the plot. It'll tell you the premise. The premise is just because no one's seen the movie, so they tell you what the premise is. There's a new one coming out that I want to see by Mel Gibson. Marky Wahlberg's in it. They're transferring a convict in an airplane, and then it gets taken over. It's called Flight Plan, I believe. Flight Plan, and that's a new one coming out, but you can't Wixie it right at this point. It's going to be premise. The other movie that I'm interested in seeing is you talked about the Smartless podcast.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman is in this one. It's about the TSA. He's a.
I did see that one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Now I can tell you, I haven't Wixied that one yet. So maybe I'll go in fresh for that. You know what?
Going fresh for that.
Is it a good movie?
You're going fresh?
I'm going to go fresh.
Then I won't tell you.
But is it good?
It is good.
Is it worth watching?
Oh, it is.
And we all know I love Jason Bateman, and the guy is the other guys from what those
Kingsman.
Yes, Kingsman.
And
but you did for real? You saw it? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
on Netflix. I watched it right away. I do another podcast called Talking Baloney.
Yep.
Coming soon, new season.
Yep, and that's why I'm not trying to steal the thunder, but
yeah, I was going to talk about it on there.
Okay.
Some of the worst acting I've ever seen, but we'll do it on there.
it's a good movie. It's worth watching
Yes,
because I know my wife's been wanting to watch it. Maybe tonight I'll do it. It's a Saturday. There's no football on tonight. Well,
Hey,
there's
another
NFL.
top story. Bird flu is in America. What do you think? Top story 2024, bird flu.
If it's not bird flu, it's something. There's always something going on, some sort of new flu or disease. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. It just constantly doesn't stop. I mean, there's always some new, what do you call it?
Disease?
No, not disease, but a mutation. There's always like a new mutation of something, or COVID went down 12 different stages. Now we have bird flu, monkeypox, and I don't know. What do you think about it? I don't know. I don't even know what it is. What does it do?
Makes you sick. Kills you.
That's the word flu, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's something to be concerned about. I mean, it's extremely dangerous if it gets into humans, which it has. So
what are they doing about it?
Well,
Is there going to be a vaccination for it?
yes.
Oh, there is.
That would be the thing, yeah.
Okay.
And so why is it dangerous? Well, it's dangerous because Trump, that guy, is making Robert F. Kennedy in charge of health. And guess who Robert F. Kennedy, he don't like the jab.
No.
He don't like the jab.
No,
And
he does not.
guess what? We all gonna die.
So that's going to be the problem. They're going to try. He's going to try to fight containing this when there needs to be a vaccination.
Yeah,
I got it.
And polio and measles
Yeah.
and all these things.
I mean, I got a flu
that
shot.
have been gone forever are going to come roaring back thanks to old RFK.
I did get a flu shot though.
Well, I would hope.
I do. Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
have to
I
in
do.
my business. I do.
Sure.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not more to come on the bird flu. I just it seems like just stay in the house.
Speaking of staying in the house, Biden dismissed the death row penalty for a 49 or so inmates before leaving office.
So let me make sure I understand this correct. They're not let go.
No.
They're so instead of getting the death penalty, they just get life in prison.
Right.
They're not getting out anytime. So it's
No,
not like okay. So it's not like he's like, okay, you guys can leave now. It's not. No, they're just their sentences got changed.
Right.
Okay.
So instead of being executed and terminated, they are now a life in prison. It's essentially hey, I can't eliminate the death penalty. What I can do before I leave office is I can make sure that none of these guys are going to be killed.
But
It's a baller move. That's my take.
so let me ask you this: not that you play on words like Trump, but so when a president makes this type of accommodation for folks, a next president cannot come in and undo. So Trump can't come in and trump what Biden said, he has to live with it. So even though Trump or President-elect would come in, they cannot undo these things. Like, he can't go and say, well, sorry, Hunter, your father said you couldn't do it, but I'm going to undo this. Like, you can't do that kind of thing.
No.
Okay. You can't undo a pardon.
No.
Oh, all right. My stance on the death penalty's changed as I've gotten older. And
You're for it.
What?
For it?
More I used to be for it, not as much anymore.
Okay. That's good.
I mean, as I've gotten older, my views have changed, to lessen the stance on the death penalty.
Okay.
Soften my stance. I used to be hard, like, put him to death, let God sort it out. But now it's more, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I don't know how much is deterring crime.
Yeah. I don't think it deters any crime.
Right. So, but anyways, I just, so you know, I've softened my stance on that. Donald?
ISIS has spread like cancer.
Yes.
Another mess I inherited.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. ISIS is a problem. Speaking of ISIS.
Argue with that.
Yeah.
P. Diddy.
Oh.
I know you wanted to talk about P. Diddy. 2024 was his downfall. He was arrested, still currently in jail, awaiting trial. Many appeals have already fallen to get out on bail. What's your take? Hot story.
I am just cannot. I guess it's not that I don't believe it, that how long this has been covered up, all these atrocities that have happened with people raped, and it's just amazing the power that Hollywood has and the stroke that they have, because this stuff has been going on for years. More importantly and more interesting, I always like seeing the pictures of the white parties he had, where some less than desirable activities went on, but to see the actors and actresses involved and the people of influence that are at these parties, pretty interesting.
This is what happens, all right? Because this is the part that drives me nuts.
Okay.
Just because he has a party that has people at it doesn't mean that that's the party where the other stuff happened.
Correct.
Right?
It doesn't help, though.
Well, okay, then every photo of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein is affirmed proof that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein raped girls. Then.
No, that's not true, no.
Right? So then you can't say every picture of P. Diddy with celebrities means those celebrities are guilty.
No. So let's rewind a little bit. I'm saying maybe not guilty, but it doesn't help their situation. So
how is it not the same with
I'm
Trump?
not there, so I know I'm not part of P. Diddy. But if I saw someone, there's a chance they could have been part of it. So it's a 50-50.
Well, how is it not the same with Donald Trump? With Epstein, there are tons of photos of them together.
True. But there's also, I see your point. But
that's the point I'm making, because P. Diddy is a celebrity who had tons of parties attended by celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean every party was one of his sex parties. People just assume, every party's a sex party. That's nonsense. To think Jennifer Lopez is at one of his sex parties because he went to one party or something? I mean, you can't use that logic for everything. And then apply that logic. I mean, Donald Trump has so many photos with Epstein.
So does Clinton.
Right.
So
I mean, you're, and not just, I mean, saying you, but I'm.
No, I know. I wish I was at the white party.
I'm applying it to the internet.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
This is how people are. Every time a photo of P. Diddy with someone comes out, it's like, look at this.
And now with AI, they could put anyone in those photos.
Right. But that's not proof of anything.
Correct.
It's just a photo of a celebrity with P. Diddy. Just like, guess what? Jeffrey Epstein met famous people.
Yeah.
And guess what? O.J. Simpson met famous people.
Doesn't mean that they're murderers.
And guess what? Adolf Hitler met other world leaders. And guess what? People meet people. It doesn't make everyone guilty because there's a photo. Having said that, yeah, some people were at parties. We just don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they'll come out with it. Hopefully there'll be more to it, because I'm really curious.
Sure. I think for sure Ashton Kutcher, though.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Jay-Z.
So Jay-Z, one of the biggest accusers, is from Rochester. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
Yeah.
really.
The accuser who has gone public and been interviewed on the news.
Is from Rochester?
Yeah, her story is she was underage, went
Mm-hmm.
to MSG from Rochester, and met Jay-Z and P. Diddy and blah, 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 and then was driven back to Rochester by one of P. Diddy's guys.
Huh.
Of course, the story doesn't hold water by all the facts don't add up, and it seems to be untrue, but hey, Rochester back in the news.
Yes. Well, so hopefully they'll get to the bottom and the names that right. So the people that weren't part of the things that went on. Hopefully they'll be exonerated or be pointed out. But the people that did need to be held accountable.
Sure.
That's it. And I also talked about Jeff Epstein. I really hope that they release that information.
50. Give me odds on Trump
Being part of it.
Yeah.
50.
50-50?
I don't think he did anything. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't.
Oh, come on.
I don't.
Come
What about
on.
so you think Clinton did?
Oh, probably. Clinton was a scumbag.
So why? So
You
okay,
know
let
what
me.
Clinton did to
I don't
that
want to
intern?
make the podcast going long. So let
You
me.
know what Clinton did to that intern?
What's that?
Clinton and that intern. You
Yeah,
remember?
yeah, Lewinsky.
Yeah. He should have been in jail.
Why is he? So can I just ask a quick question? I won't get into a long time. There could be another conversation. Why is that he had done all these bad things and has known
Yeah.
infidelities
Yeah.
and just is not a nice person?
Yeah.
Why are they Democrats still bringing him around and pushing him out in front of everybody? Like he's not a good person.
A lot of Democrats don't respect him. And
Okay, so it's not across the board.
No.
Okay, thank you, big guy. I just had to ask because I don't understand.
No. A lot of Democrats are definitely against promoting him for stuff because of they, looking at what he did in current eyes,
Yes.
right? He should have been treated much harsher.
Correct.
Like with the Me Too movement,
Oh yeah.
looking at what he did, I mean, people look at it totally different now. What happened with Monica Lewinsky, the way she was treated, this was a young college girl, an intern, and she was a victim. And
Yep.
She was made the brunt of jokes and the scorn of people.
Against her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
From
disgusting.
every side.
Yeah, it was disgusing. It was like
And Clinton got away with it.
Yep. He should have been impeached. I mean,
He should have been arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good,
Disgusting.
good point. All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. Okay.
Oh no, majority of the Democrats that I see online say that. It's just
But to your point about Trump, probably 70%.
let's see what he says.
Yeah.
When you open your heart to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice.
Wow.
Yeah. Prolific words. Yeah, more to come on the P. Diddy, just to kind of to button that up. Yeah, I'm really interested to see more about it and just dive it deep. He'll never see the light of day again, I can tell you that.
Hey, one more top story.
Sure.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Oh,
they
God.
fought.
I lost money.
You lost money?
I bet on that fight. Tyson
Oh.
in 5 rounds.
5?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was looking for old Mike Tyson. That was terrible. I
Oh,
lost
you
money.
got old Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
you did.
That was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I bet money on it. I thought it was a real fight.
Yeah.
I did. What a sucker I was.
Yeah.
I got played.
Yeah, it was
played.
disappointing. It was disappointing.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah. All right. That's our top
Yeah,
stories.
there's nothing more to say about that.
It's been a long episode. We're going to end it now. We're not going to do our Ivan thing. Sorry, fans. We'll come back with more Ivan stuff. There's plenty to go around. This was kind of our special wrap-up.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We kind of went down some paths that we didn't
Yeah.
expect, and that's what makes it interesting.
You
A lot of
know,
this is improvised.
We don't script this show. We don't know what we're going to say.
No.
I mean, obviously, I made bread, like, slaved over the oven.
Is that why when I came to the door this morning, you didn't answer? Were you up all night making that bread?
You should see the burns on my arm. I'll tell you what, they don't like the. Oh,
Yeah, let's take a look at that bread maker later. So
I think I have to dismantle it.
yeah,
I think it's an actual fire hazard.
okay. Well, please, you just bought your home, so we don't want any
Yeah,
problems.
it's a real serious.
Yeah, big time.
And we'll see you next time.
Here we go.
Tomorrow they will say, Donald Trump rants and raves at the press. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you, you're dishonest people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was worth it.
Well, like I said, everybody happy January 6th. And
Hey, if you can't celebrate January 6th, then you're probably an average American who doesn't celebrate it.
right. But no, it's going to be an interesting 2025. Make sure to stay tuned into this podcast to get the updates and our opinions on things. And looking forward to 2025, big guy.
All right.
right.
Here's to a great year, and we'll see you next time on Discontent is Our Content.
Fans. Call 911.
Fans.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in jail.